this world is not conclusion. In other words, when we die, there's something else. So, as the reader, this leads us to ask, well, if this world is not conclusion, what else is there? A species stands beyond, invisible as music, but positive as sound. It beckons and it baffles. In other words, there's something beyond this life. But what is it? Whatever it is, right? And this is a really neat comparison that Dickinson uses here. Invisible as music, but positive as sound. Music, I love this. Music exists on a page, right, with musical notes. You can look at a page if you can read music, and then you can hear it, right? You can hear it in your mind, in your mind's eye. You can hear it. But then at the same time, music also exists, right, physically for us to hear with our ears. So whatever it is that's beyond, right, it has this dual nature. We can think about it, and then it's also something that we can encounter, right? Because music has that dual nature, that dichotomy. It beckons and it baffles. Philosophy don't know. And through a riddle at the last, sagacity must go. Right? So philosophy, right? When people expound all these philosophers and talk about what happens after death, ultimately, they don't know. Why don't they know? They're not dead, right? They're not dead. You can't die and then report back. It's ultimately a riddle. And at the last, sagacity must go, right? Sagacity, the root there is the same as sage, right? So sagacity is like wisdom, because a sage would be a wise person. So ultimately, all those philosophers, all the wisdom, it's just, you have to realize it's a riddle. We don't have answers to all the questions. To guess it puzzles scholars. To gain it, men have borne contempt of generations and crucifixion. Yes. Shown, faith slips and laughs and rallies. Faith slips and laughs and rallies. Blushes, if any, plucks out a twig of evidence, right? So now we're out there grasping. We're looking for what's the world beyond. Since we know the world is not conclusion, we're plucking at little thing, anything we can find about the afterlife, anything we can find. Because after all, people have borne the scorn of generations. People have been crucified about this, and asks Savain the way. Oh, like the wind vane, like on the top of a barn, would be common during this time, right? To show which direction the wind is blowing. Plucks at a twig of evidence and asks a vane the way, following the prevailing current. What should I believe? Let me look around. What do you believe? What should my beliefs be? Much gesture from the pulpit. We know previously what Dickinson thought about going to church and hearing that. Oh, goodness. Strong alleluias roll. Narcotics cannot still the tooth that nibbles at the soul. Oh, so like if you have a toothache, right? If you have just kind of nags and just keeps that pulsing, right? You can take drugs, right? You can take a drug to numb it. You wouldn't feel it, but it's still there. But here, narcotics cannot still the tooth that nibbles at the soul. That sense of wondering, right, is still there. Still there. I wonder what the afterlife is like. I wonder what it's like. Well, I know what I know that it's nothing like this world. This world is not conclusion, so what's beyond? It's nothing like this world. We can guess at it, we can wonder about it, we can go to church and watch people thump the podium and go on and on about heaven and hell, but ultimately we don't know, and we're left with a nagging want of the answer. The question is raised and left a question. Wow. How different is that from what we had seen previously, where we would ask a question and we were given an answer and we were sure of it. But now, hey, with transcendentalism, we're comfortable, right? Asking questions, and we're comfortable embracing uncertainty. This world is not conclusion. What's beyond? Yes. And in case I haven't forgotten, we still have one more poem for us to really dive deep, and we'll do that in the next lecture.